You in trouble?
Yes. Oh, I don't know. Please, I've got to call the police.
Well, there's a place back there we can call them. Get you some coffee. You look as if you need it. Hop in.
Oh, I'm quite all right, really. I suppose you think I'm being traditionally feminine.
To come all the way out to Westchester County to meet a man at a deserted house at dusk? Oh, no.
Lower that eyebrow, Mr. Barnett. My firm sent me.
Your firm?
Yes, Knapp and Lutcher. Very respectable attorneys. They're handling the eastern end of a very involved inheritance case in Chicago. The house is part of the estate.
Who are you supposed to be meeting?
A man named Charles Fuller, the only living heir. He flew out from Chicago to inspect the house. He was going to decide whether to fix it up or tear it down. I'd been sent to White Plains to search the deed, and I was supposed to bring all the papers to him late this afternoon. Not very romantic, I'm afraid.
Whose estate was it? Can you tell me?
I can tell you anything that's already a matter of record. If you'll like this for me. Horace Fleeson Fuller.
The financier? He's been dead 1,000 years.
Not quite. Since 1919. He was killed in an accident in Europe. A train wreck.
1919, huh? No wonder there's only one living heir. I'm sure the others have all died of starvation by now.
Seems that Mr. Fuller was a fugitive. He was involved in some kind of a scandal in Illinois.
I'll say he was. Quite a famous case. He was selling stock in Lake Michigan. Highly watered.
Anyway, that's why it's taken over 30 years to settle the estate. There were so many claims against it. It's only coming out of litigation now. And there's only $2 million left.
And only one living heir. Well, wherever Charles Fuller is, he's certainly not poverty-stricken now.
Yes, and wherever he is, I've got to find him. And right now. I think I better go get the state police.
I'll take you to them. The Hawthorne Barracks is only a few miles from here. We'll pass the Fuller estate, won't we, on the way?
I hope at very high speed. Why?
Because I'm curious. I've got to have a look. It won't be a minute. Sure you won't come?
No, thanks. When your minute's up, you're going to hear a lady scream. again.
Where?
Around there, the tower window.
Nothing. This hut shut it up tighter than a tomb.
Oh, that's a nice choice of words. Where are you going?
Inside, want to come?
I do not. Well, on second thought, I'd be delighted.
All right, I gotcha.
Ooh.
I hear something rip.
Never mind. Ooh, what a place. It's real cozy, like an open grave. I said it.
Wet cement. Let's go.
Where?
Upstairs.
What was that?
Draft blew the cellar door shut.
Well, if the draft blew this one, it also nailed it from the inside. Let's get out of here. Barnett? Mike? What's that?
Bats. Thousands of them. All over the place. I hate to think of what's in the upholstery.
What's in there?
I don't know. Let's find out.
This used to be the parlor.
Looks like it still is.
What do you mean?
Look, no dust, no cobwebs. Room's perfectly clean. Someone's lived in this room recently.
I'm glad you said lived. Listen.
It's an old phonograph coming from upstairs.
We didn't hear you knock.
Hello there. Matter of fact, we made enough noise to...
Raise the dead.
Who are you?
I might ask you the same question since you're intruders in this house. I happen to be butler to the Fullers and not required to take impertinence from strangers.
You're the Fuller's butler? You mean were, used to be.
Mr. Horace Fuller occupies this house. I am and have been for many years butler to Mr. and Mrs. Fuller.
That's impossible. The Fullers have been dead over 30 years.
Have they indeed?
Here, confound it, Dobson. What is this?
Why, Horace, how nice. We have callers. How very, very nice.
Trespassers, Mrs. Fuller. Intruders.
How do you do, my dear?
How do you do?
My name's Barnett, Mike Barnett. This is Miss Ann Stevens.
I found them prowling, sir.
As a matter of fact, we were...
How nice of you two lovely people to stop by. We're so glad. We haven't had callers in ever so long. Why, my lands, I don't think since before Armistice Day.
Really? Which one?
Why, how many were there? Last November, 1918. Will I ever forget it? We were in New York at the time. What a commotion in the streets. There was Horace dancing with the Marines, shrieking, "Hang the Kaiser!"
Oh, you must think me rude. I am Horace Fuller.
You are?
And I'm Mrs. Fuller, and you must stay for dinner. Please, I insist. There's a storm coming up. Dobson, 2 extra places for dinner, and take their coats. It's simple fare, I'm afraid. President Wilson got us quite used to one-course meals, what with wheatless days and meatless days. Oh, pardon me for staring, dear, but your dress isn't my dress.
Oh, short, you mean? Oh, well, that's the way they're wearing it for tennis this year.
Tennis, of course. I notice Mr. Barnett is wearing a soft collar.
And my dear, I think you'd better tend to the table. Dobson's not used to sitting for company these days.
We have so few callers. A lovely dress. Rather daring, but becoming.
You seem disturbed, Mr. Barnett.
Well, frankly, I am. If you're Horace Fuller, well, you're supposed to have been dead for 30 years.
Your supposition is correct, Mr. Barnett. My wife and I are dead. Quite dead. You're quite right, Mr. Barnett. Mrs. Fuller and I have been dead for over 30 years. Dead, but not buried. Unless you consider being walled up in this mausoleum for the past 5 years a form of burial.
But you were supposed to have been killed in a train wreck in 1919.
We were in a train wreck in Switzerland. There were survivors. We were among them.
But you let the world think you weren't, huh?
Mr. Barnett, there had been business reverses in Chicago. Frankly, I was indicted for fraud. Oh, I make no apologies. I was in Europe to avoid a warrant for my arrest, and I was in Switzerland evading extradition.
That train wreck came in handy, didn't it?
By the time it was safe to come back, the war had started. The Second World War. Well, after the war, we finally did get back, and here you found us. Oh, I knew it had to come sooner or later.
You mean you've been here for 5 years? This house is supposed to be deserted.
Oh, better than that. It's supposed to be haunted. We find that its gruesome reputation has kept prowlers away. Up to now.
Is your wife ill?
Delicately put, Mr. Barnett. You noticed our costume, the rather archaic comforts of our home, the confusion of tenses in our speech.
I didn't want to mention it.
Oh, thank you. I said that we were survivors of a train wreck. We did not escape completely. Mrs. Fuller received a severe blow on her head. Her mind has been permanently injured.
You mean she doesn't remember anything that's happened since 1919?
Now, to her, this is 1919. She is always 24 years old, and 1920 never comes.
Tragic.
Oh, I don't know. Wouldn't you like to be 24 forever? But I must ask you to humor her while you're here. Live with her in the past. This may seem absurd, but I would appreciate it.
Of course.
Now, don't try to take her into your own time sphere. This only confuses her and upsets her and makes her violent, dangerously violent.
Won't you come in? Dinner is ready.
I'm not really very hungry.
Miss Stevens and Mr. Barnett. You know, we've missed our theater going recently, Mr. Barnett. Tell me, what's exciting on Broadway?
Well, to be honest with you, Mrs. Fuller, I'm not much of a... Lightning is still enjoying a good run.
That delightful Frank Bacon.
Yes, and then there's that new one by George M. Cohan.
Oh, yes, with Chauncey Olcott, isn't it?
I think so.
Miss Stevens, did you by any chance see The Wild Duck?
The Wild...
The Ibsen play, you know? Yes, Hortense has adopted Ibsen. Women's rights, you know, ever since this suffragette movement.
Oh, you're voting next year?
Well, now that we've got the vote, I suddenly realize that I'll have to admit my age to exercise it. But I think I'm going to vote for Mr. Harding.
Oh, I think Mr. Harding's much better than...
Dobson, would you bring some wine, please? Surely you don't object to a friendly drink. You're not a couple of bone dryers, are you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I don't touch the stuff often, but I was sorry to see the 18th Amendment pass. I'm afraid it's going to cause a lot of trouble.
Oh, I don't know when it's ratified.
Who's your bootlegger, Mrs. Fuller?
A bootlegger? I don't know his name.
Hortense, my dear.
Horace deals with him. He drives around in a big black motor car. Oh, it's all delightfully wicked.
Mr. Barnett, whom do you favor in the Willard fight out in Toledo?
Willard fight? Well, I think I'll put a little money on this new fellow, Jack Dempsey.
Oh, that's risky. Willard's a killer.
Wouldn't want to make a friendly bet, would you?
No. No, thank you.
I'll bet Dempsey knocks him out. I'll bet he does it in the third round.
What's the name of the girl in Jack-o'-lantern, the ingenue?
I don't know, I'm sure. But have you seen this new moving picture actor, Rudolph Valentino?
No, but I hear he's wonderful.
Come, my dear. It's getting late. Past your bedtime, you know.
But our guests...
The guest room's are ready, Mr. Fuller.
You may see our guests in the morning.
In the morning?
Yes, you don't think we'd let you leave the house on a night like this, do you?
But...
No buts, Miss Stevens. We've already made arrangements, and we'll not take no for an answer. Dobson, will you show our guests to their rooms?
Good night.
Good night. It was a lovely dinner.
Good night, Mr. Barnett.
Sleep well.
Thank you.
Good night.
This way, please.
Good night. Yes.
You idiotic fool.
Oh, what happened? What did I do?
It's what you said. Enough to make that Barnett suspicious if he's half as smart as I think he is.
What did I say?
Oh, don't tell me you can't remember what happened in 1919. Well, we'd have to wait for Dobson.
Miss Stevens?
Good night.
All right.
Good night. Mr. Barnett?
Miss Stevens. Ann,
What is it?
my door's locked.
So is mine.
Open up here.
Say, what is this? What's going on?
Lady, we're in a jam. They suspect we've caught on.
Well, I haven't.
Horace said the Fullers were really dead.
Yes?
Well, he's right.
They're the Fullers.
The only genuine Fuller in this house is the guy you were supposed to meet here, and he's probably down in the cellar now under a patch of wet cement.
Why would they want to kill him?
Because he's the only one who'd know they weren't the real Fullers. They got him out of the way, they'd have a nice juicy melon to split as soon as someone found them.
You mean we were supposed to discover them?
You were. They knew about your date with Charles Fuller here, and they got here ahead of you and put him to sleep under a blanket of wet cement. You were supposed to go running to the authorities with the startling information that the Fullers are still alive.
Well, what made you suspect?
She said she was going to vote for Harding next year. The voters didn't hear of Harding until 1920. They hadn't heard of bootlegging in 1919 either. Prohibition law didn't go into effect until the next year.
Well, if they suspect we've caught on, what do you think they'll do?
I don't know, but I'll bet there's a lot more cement down in the cellar. We gotta do something quick.
This is the top floor. Must be about 50 feet straight down.
There's a ledge out here. You bothered by height?
Yes, but I'll overcome it.
You want it? Go get it. Okay, Jeeves, on your feet. We'll join the rest of your team and pay a visit to the police. They got a reserved seat for people who bury people in cement suits. They've had it since way before 1919. By the way, I got a little item you and the boys at headquarters may want to stick on the bulletin board. Guess who just passed the phone booth? Little Sam. Yeah. From what I remember about Little Sam, you better take your money out of the bank and hide it in the sock. Okay, Lieutenant, I'll be seeing you.
Hey, Murray.
Freddie, I thought you were still in Las Vegas.
Well, you son of a gun. It's good to see you. Have a drink. On the house.
I can't turn down an offer like that.
I said no.
Better listen, baby.
Leave me alone.
Beg your pardon, can I help you?
Yes, you can. I was just going to leave. Thank you.
This is a nice, quiet, respectable bar. Let's keep it that way. I'll be seeing you, Freddie.
So long, Mike.
Come on, let's get him. Say, we got more important things to do.
Excuse me. I don't seem to be able to find a cab, and I'm afraid those men in there. Could you give me a lift to a bus stop?
Sure, hop in.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Barnett, Mike Barnett.
I feel much safer with you.
down for?
Well, the Bellefonte Hotel, but that's too much trouble. The bus stop will do.
No, no trouble at all. Those two fellows friends of yours?
Friends? They're strangers. I never saw them before in my life. They followed me into the bar, and then they tried to pick me up.
Just like I picked you up.
No, that was different. I tried to pick you up. And anyway, I know I can trust you.
That's my trouble. Women always trust me. Music?
Love it. Just looking at your profile.
So?
I don't trust you anymore.
What's your name?
Jenny?
Got a last name?
Last names are unimportant.
You got a phone number?
Yes?
That's important. What is it?
I think it'd be better if I called you.
Tomorrow?
No, I have a date tomorrow.
What about tonight, then?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I promised my mother I'd take her to the movies.
Where you been?
I took a walk. Cut the caveman stuff.
I told you to stay in the hotel.
I took a walk. Sue me.
I told you no bars. No drinks, nothing till after tomorrow.
I got sick of being cooped up in this hotel room.
Who are you with?
Nobody. I was alone.
No, she wasn't.
I told you guys to keep an eye on her.
We did.
Why don't you two gorillas put a cowbell around my neck?
Your wife was in a bar.
This guy butts in and she goes off in a car with him.
What guy?
Just a guy. A gentleman. You wouldn't know the type.
Just a guy. Who was he?
I don't know. Nobody. A butcher, a shoe salesman. How should I know? Just a guy.
If you say it again, I'll let you have one. What you and this guy talk about?
The weather.
Sure. The weather. Now get this. We're going to do this job tomorrow. With no mistakes. No slip-ups. And if you want weather reports, send up a balloon. Nobody move. Get over there. Go on, get over there. Now listen to me. Carefully. This is a stick-up. I've got a baby in my arms. If anybody tries to stop me, I'll shoot.
No, please. It's my baby. He'll kill her.
Everybody. Get your hands up. You. Get that briefcase over there. Take it to this window. And if you want your baby back alive, make sure he fills it. Fills it good.
They just take the baby. It's only a doll. And that girl must be one of them.
Harry, Sam. You know what to do. Jenny and me will meet you at the lodge.
Are you carrying the money?
Yeah, I'm carrying the money.
Maybe we ought to go in the same car, Mark, all four of us together.
Yeah, that's smart. Four of us. Exactly the same number that stuck up the bank.
We take two cars. We meet at the lodge. We split up the money even. That's the deal. That's the way it's going to be. I don't argue. We stick our necks out standing here. Remember, you take the bridge. I'll take the tunnel. Let's go. You look real glamorous, baby.
It's good to get out of that clown makeup. Mark, this isn't the way to the lodge.
That's right. I wonder how long Sam and Harry will be waiting for us to show up.
You mean we're going to split the money, you and me?
That's right. Just you and me.
Mark, that's the nicest thing you ever said to me.
Wow, felt like the long arm of the law. Lieutenant Higgins.
Hello, Mike. Don't tell me they got you working on this one, too.
I'm leaving this one for you and the boys down at headquarters.
But maybe the insurance company to put you on the trail.
No, all I know about this one is what I read in the papers, which isn't very much. What's the real dope on this, Lieutenant?
You want to know the real dope?
Sure.
I'm the real dope. I don't know who did it.
$15,000. It's a nice haul.
That was $75,000, Mike. The insurance company told the newspaper boys it was only $15,000. They like to keep these big losses quiet.
Any description of the gang?
Yeah, according to witnesses, the guy that held the gun looked like the Phantom of the Opera. Had some kind of a stocking pulled over his face.
Didn't they see any of the others?
Well, the bank guard got a quick look at the guy who drove the getaway car. Said he was short, had a small black mustache.
I'm only working on a hunch, Lieutenant, but that could be...
Little Sam. Yeah, I'm way ahead of you, Mike. I've already got out an all-points bulletin on him.
What's eating you? Well?
First, you coop me up in a second-rate hotel room for 3 months. Then I end up in a cheap motel. What are we going to do with the 75 grand? Frame it?
Keep your voice down.
75,000 smackers in that briefcase. What do we spend a day? $3.40 on gas. Oh, yeah, and a couple two-bit hamburgers. We're really living it up, aren't we?
We don't touch that loot till I say so.
Where are we headed for, Mark?
West.
California, then maybe down to Mexico?
We're going to South Dakota.
South Dakota?
Yeah. It's a state.
I'm already in a state. You're really serious, aren't you?
I got friends there. They can help us hide out.
Hide out from what, the Income Tax Bureau?
No, the cops. And Sam and Harry, they'll be looking for us, you know.
Let them find us. With $75,000, we can hire somebody to bump them off. South Dakota. I'd like to start spending that money before the dollar's worth less than 2 cents.
You don't crack a bank and go on a spending spree. You lay low. Wait till the heat gets turned off.
You've been reading the bank robber's manual.
After a while, we start spending. Little here, little there.
Sure. A hamburger here, a motel there. You know, if we spend this money wisely, we can hold out for 200 years.
Okay, Miss Brains. Maybe you got a better idea.
Yeah, maybe I have. I'll tell you where we ought to go, right back to where we started, New York.
You need a drink.
Yeah? Where do you think the cops are going to start looking for us? Right where we are. In motels, and on the highway, checking license plates, asking questions at gas stations.
New York has cops, too, you know.
Who's going to recognize us unless you put on a silk stocking on your head and I wear clown makeup?
I told you the way it's going to be.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, Mark. I'm walking out on you.
So you're walking out on me. If I don't walk out on you first.
I don't think you will.
I thought I heard a shot, but I guess it was just a truck backfiring. Martha, come here, quick!
Operator, I want to speak to Mr. Mike Barnett in Manhattan.
Hello?
Hello? I said I'd call you Mr. Two T's.
Well, what do you know? The little blonde I rescued from the clutches of the two bad men. Hello, Jenny.
Can you be trusted this afternoon? I'm not busy, are you? Remember the little bar I met you in? I'll meet you out in front in about a half an hour, okay?
Hope I didn't keep you waiting.
No, I just got here. Hop in.
Mike, look.
The same two punks who tried to pick you up on the bar the other day. Thought you said they were strangers.
Quick, let's get out of here.
Up in.
Looks like we've lost them.
Okay, baby, let's have the big explanation.
Why the third degree? You think I'd killed somebody or something?
Who are those two guys?
I told you they're trying to pick me up.
Cut the comedy. That was 2 days ago. You mean they haven't given up yet? You're not that good looking.
I guess I'm not a very good liar either.
Okay, baby, then you better take a crack at the truth.
Mike, I've been very foolish.
Yeah?
You see, I've been gambling, and I owe a lot of money to the wrong people.
Those fellas been hounding you for the money?
Nobody collects on gambling debts legally. They have their own methods.
Strong arm stuff?
Yeah, pay up or else. I've been plenty scared.
How much do you owe them?
1,000. It's a lot when you haven't got it. Mike, I'm hungry.
Fine. I know a little Italian place down in the village.
No, I mean, let's not eat it in the city.
Okay, you name it.
I know a place up in Connecticut. Angelina's. The drive might be nice.
So, whereabouts in Connecticut?
Somewhere near Greenwich.
Somewhere near Greenwich. Oh, there's a place over there. I better look it up. They ought to have a phone. I'll be right back.
And here's a news item that just came in. Something new on the Dole Bandits. Only a few minutes ago, police reported they had captured 2 men in a speeding car. One of the men, Charles Little Sam Welko, admitted being in the daylight holdup of the Fifth National Bank, which occurred 2 days ago. Police reportedly are on the lookout for a second car. One of the occupants is believed to be the Dole Bandit, the young brunette who covered the escape of the bandits by posing as the mother of what finally turned out to be a toy doll. We will bring you the reports on this new development as they come in. And now turning to the world of sports. At the Polo Grounds yesterday,
Couldn't find any Angelinas in the phone book. You sure it's in Connecticut?
Oh, yes. I remember passing the place. We're headed right.
What if I got any change?
Turn off here.
Why?
It's the way to the restaurant. I recognize it now.
Why didn't you tell me the restaurant was on a road like this Notice I'd have brought a mule instead of a car.
I'm sorry. I guess I picked the wrong road.
I think I'll let you wash the car after this.
I wouldn't blame you. I could have sworn that was the right turnoff.
There's a side road up ahead. Maybe it'll lead us back onto the parkway. If I see a cop, I'll stop and ask him if he knows Angelina's.
No, thanks. I remember the way now.
We're almost there. Do you know what street this restaurant's on?
No, but I'll recognize it when we get to Westport.
Westport? I thought you said it was in Greenwich.
I meant Westport.
Let's get the news. It's on every hour. Why'd you do that?
I don't feel like news.
Kind of jumpy, aren't you?
Why did you want to hear the news?
I want to find out if there's anything new on that bank holdup.
Oh, the bank robbery. I'm sick of hearing about it. So they got away with 75 G's. So what?
How'd you know it was 75 G's?
Why, it was in the papers. Everybody knows it.
Oh, no, they don't. The paper said 15,000. The only ones who know it was 75 are the bank officials, the cops, and the Dow bandit.
How did you know it was 75 G's?
I got a laugh for you. I'm a cop.
I'll keep laughing. You keep driving. Why are you slowing down?
We need gas. Fill her up, please.
Yes, sir. Check your oil and water?
No, thanks. I've got a credit card. I'll sign for this.
We'll pay cash. I don't want too many bills coming in at the end of the month, dear.
We'll pay cash. Even before a firing squad, they let a man smoke a last cigarette.
Give him this. You're not going to get the chance to flash any badges, Mr. Barnett.
That's 415, sir.
I've only got a 20.
I get change. Yeah, I was just noticing. Want it cleaned off?
Might be a good idea.
We
There.
haven't got time.
She's right. We haven't got time.
Oh, just get your windshield. There, she's clean. See you again.
I hope so. Now I'm getting hungry. How about stopping and letting the condemned man have a hearty ham sandwich?
You don't need food. You're not going far.
No, but you are. You're going far and you're not going to stop much. You'll miss a few meals.
I can pick up some food after I've gotten rid of you.
After dark, a woman traveling alone at night, anybody'd remember your face.
When we come to the first diner, stop.
Yes, sir. Folks want to be.
Black coffee, ham on white.
Yes, check. And yours.
Give her something she can eat with one hand.
I hurt my wrist. Give me a cheese sandwich. And I want 4 hamburgers to take out and a carton of coffee. No sugar, please. Oh, and 2 chocolate bars.
Yes. Did you folks hear about that dull bandit?
What about it?
Well, a man on the radio said that police are about to close in on her.
Where are the police closing in?
Somewhere. New York City.
Oh, good for the cops.
Do they know what kind of a car she's in?
But you know she was in a car.
Well, that's the way they do it in the movies.
Yeah, well, the funny part of it was she was in a car, and they got a description of it. Man on the radio said their license number was 5W5116.
Have they got a description of this Dow bandit?
Yep.
Brunette with glasses?
No, that's the funny part of it. That was just a disguise. She's really a blonde.
Lots of blondes in the world.
Gonna have a lot of trouble finding her, if you ask me.
Where are you going?
Just to get the bread here. The man always leaves it on this table.
I want some coffee. Right now, I want some coffee. He knows. Stay right where you are.
Please don't shoot, lady. Please.
Where do we go from here, Jenny?
We don't. I guess this is as good a place as any. First him.
Get on that phone, quick.
Are you the fellow that tipped off that gas station attendant?
That's right. You'll get your Dow bandit in just a minute, officer, but first this character needs a little searching.
Isn't that usually done by a woman cop?
Don't flatter yourself, baby. I mean your purse. I got a hunch. And I'm right. A bank deposit key. I'm surprised you trust banks. Hang on to that, officer. It'll unlock 75 grand.
You're looking beautiful today, beautiful.
And you're looking real George today, George.
Sign for the bread, huh? Then we'll smooch.
Sign it on one condition.
Make it a good one.
That you give me that silly hat.
Oh, this new hat really gets old.
I thought you were coming up to see me while I was on vacation.
Oh, you didn't stay long enough.
Oh. Now you hear that, Papa? You made me come home from the lake just when George was going to show me a good time.
You can joke, but it ain't funny. What's eating Vic? Or what's he been eating? His own cooking?
Don't kid him, George. Papa wired me to come home because he said somebody called him up and threatened him.
Threatened Vic? What for?
Who knows? But whoever the guy was, he said he'd ruin our business unless Papa paid him $2,000. He said he was selling polecat insurance.
Shakedown, huh? Oh, you're kidding.
Like I was telling Pop. Probably just some of those crew-cut kids from over in Clifton. You know, that crowd of hot rodders.
It's an old kid, and he means business.
Come in here and they buy a nothing burger and rowdy around the juke all night. We kick them out all the time.
Figure they're sworn getting even. Why'd they pick on someone with a lot of dough, eh, Vic? Like my boss, the bum.
Maybe because you boss ain't an old man. Maybe because he lives around there all his life. Huh. I've seen it before. What right is this stranger got to come and buy Charlie's diner? Hey, foreigner. Who's gonna care what happens to Victor Rocco?
Hey, Diablo! A stinky bomb!
Papa, turn off the fire. George, open the window.
Please don't go. Be all clear in a minute. Vicky to give you a good line.
Of rotten eggs? Nothing like this ever happened when Charlie was here.
Papa, let's go outside.
Hey, Vic, you can keep smelling food. Come on, man, come on.
Wait a minute, fellas, please. Look at him go. Tonight it'll be all over the county. Don't stop at Charlie's. No man don't keep the place clean. Just wait.
Yeah, tough break.
All that food is open. We gotta pitch it out. Just kids, huh? Some joke, huh?
If you want, I'll call the cops for you.
Hey, Chef, what's the special for Morris? Toasted mattress? We all fixing it just I called the cops. I want the cops to call them myself. So they can come and laugh at Vic Rocco too, huh?
I know how you feel. Well, you still get my trade.
Yeah, sure. But who else? You heard what the fella said. Things like this never happened when Charlie's got the place.
Like I said, tough break. See you, Betty.
Bye, George. Thanks.
That settles it.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Pop. You aren't thinking of paying any $2,000 to some wise guy kid, are you?
Look, Betty, I seen this happen in the whole country. I seen it happen in the city when you was a little girl. I see what happens to the braver man who says, I won't pay. Next time the bomb's a little bigger and somebody's really get hurt. I'm an old man, Charisma. I don't want to have to fight. It's better to pay.
Yeah? Well, maybe I don't think so. Wait, mister, don't go in. I try to stop you, mister.
I wish you had. You the proprietor?
Yeah, I'm the boss. Sorry, mister, we had a little trouble.
Somebody trying to shake you down?
How did you know?
I certainly know a stench bomb when I meet it. That's an old racketeer's dodge where I come from. Who called the police?
Nobody.
Well, somebody's going to, right now.
Let me give you a lift into town. Give it a good rub down with ammonia. That'll get rid of the worst of it. Keep your blowers on full.
Thanks, mister.
No trouble. I'm going to Kennedy's Lodge. It's not out of the way at all.
Well, thanks, Mr.
Barnett. Mike Barnett.
You mean you can't do anything to help me?
I didn't say that. What I mean is I can't spare a man to do nothing but sit in your diner drinking coffee all day on the off chance that some high school kid is going to come in and ask for $2,000.
Would you? If it was still Charlie's place?
What do you mean?
Miss Rocco means that she and her father are entitled to police protection.
The whole township is entitled to police protection, Barnett. And they'll get just as much as a full-man department can give them, but no more.
I appreciate your problem, officer, but Miss Rocco and her father have reason to suspect imminent peril. Doesn't that warrant special consideration?
Yes. All right, I'll have a man drop in at your place whenever I can shake one loose.
That might not be till after the next bomb goes off.
Okay, if your father gets another phone call or extortion note, let me know and I'll come over myself.
Well, how will she know? Her father might not even tell her.
Why don't you take the case yourself, Mr. Barnett?
Mr. Barnett? Why, he's
Mr. Barnett is Mike Barnett, a private investigator.
He is?
That's right, isn't it? From New York City?
Why, of course. I read an article about you in Look magazine. It's you, huh?
I'm afraid it is, and I'm up here to do some fishing.
That's all right. I couldn't ask you to do it anyway.
Believe me, I wish you would. I'm swamped, and I'm not too blame proud to ask for your help.
I suppose you get paid a lot of money. Well, I pay a lot of money just not to have to pay any to some crook.
But that's not the point. This is my vacation.
Of course. Anyway, it's not really important enough for you.
No, that isn't fair.
I know it. But you see, to Pop and me, it means everything.
I'm sure it does, Miss Rocco.
Betty.
Betty, but I came up here to fish, and I'm going to fish.
Hey, I thought you were going fishing.
You knew I'd be back.
Well, I wasn't sure, but I told Pop that you would, and that you'd help us.
How'd he take it?
In Italian, I'm not sure. But in English, he finally agreed to go along with it.
You get any more phone calls?
No.
Anybody in there now?
Just Pop, cleaning up. The only customer we had all morning walked out. The ammonia smells worse than that egg.
I'll have to find an excuse for hanging around. If anyone asks, we met on your vacation, I'm your boyfriend.
Hey, this could be worse. As a matter of fact, on my vacation, it was. Come on in and see Pop. Honey.
Okay, sweetie.
Pop, Mr. Barnett said that he'd help us if we do exactly as he says.
You got a wonderful daughter, Mr. Rocco.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Barnett. You're a very nice man. But I think it's better I pay the money to this malfatore, and then nobody's have any more trouble.
Mr. Rocco, extortion is like blackmail. It keeps right on. When your savings are gone, they'll watch your cash register until the take's big enough to make another grab. They'll put you out of business and make you pay for the privilege.
Okay. I told Betty I'd stick along with you, so I do it. For a while, anyhow. What do you want to know?
Where do you get your eggs?
I buy them fresh from a farmer over near Hillary.
Did you take that fragrant one from here?
See?
Who else has access to this refrigerator?
All the root men. Milkman, pie man, beer man, Pop, me. We got a night man on weekends. And some of those wise apple kids help themselves here when we're busy.
You mean practically anybody. Did you happen to find a piece of the eggshell that did the damage?
No.
I did. It's in the cash register. Good a place as any. Nothing else in there now.
It's rhyodide, all right.
What's that?
Well, it's so unpleasant you won't find it in any high school chemistry lab. So I don't think it was any hot rod kid who did it. Whoever did it pinholed the eggshell, loaded the egg, and pasted this over the hole.
What is it?
It's like a little piece of wax paper. Well, all we can do now is wait until you hear from the shake artist. They usually don't waste time.
I better tell you, he telephoned already.
What? Oh, why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want to worry you. I was going to go and pay him.
Did you recognize his voice?
No, it sounded like a man. It was no kid.
What do you want you to do?
He says to walk along the river road 9:30 this morning.
It's 9 o'clock now.
I'm supposed to drop the money on the road and keep it going and not look back.
We've just got time.
What are we going to do?
What I came up here to do. We're going fishing.
I don't know about you, but I feel kind of silly fishing without bait.
We're the bait. Hey, here comes that blue convertible again.
It's the same one, all right. But it doesn't mean a thing to me.
Well, it does to me. Assuming our man came out here at all, there's a good chance he's in that car. We can't let him get too much of a head start. I just hope that deputy chief sent a man to your diner.
Oh, I don't like it, Mike. Suppose he gets sore at my pop for not showing. He'd have to be in danger.
He's been in danger ever since he fried that egg.
What's the matter? What happened?
He didn't show up. Take that trunk over to Hillary and dump it. Pick up another one, be back here by 3 o'clock, and I'll get going.
Why can't we use this one again?
There were some people in an outboard when I drove down the river road.
They didn't see it, did they?
Shut up, will you? Get that car out of here. By now it's hotter than a second-hand bazooka.
Didn't see you come in. So busy feeding the customers.
Yeah? Well, you can thank me. I'm the guy who talked it up and down the highway so the boys would come back.
That's right. He said you had the best skunk burgers in the state. Hey, George, when you're in the Army, you ever eat with your gas mask on?
What's fresh today, baby?
Besides him, everything. We had to stock over, you know.
Give me a cupcake and coffee, huh?
Sure.
Burgers are there.
Here they are. To go. Go with them, huh?
Hey, I wanted them with.
You got them with.
I meant with chlorophyll. Let's go, fellas.
Oh, excuse me. Hello, Mike. Looks like we're back in business, honey.
It sure does, sweetheart. How's everything, Vic?
Just fine. Can I get you something?
Oh, thanks. I just came to propose to your daughter. Yeah, I'll have a cup of coffee.
I thought I was your boyfriend.
Why, sure you are, George. He's just a fellow I met at the lake.
Baby, you really break their hearts, don't you?
Have to go wait on a customer.
What do you got under here, Vic? An oven?
Oven? No, it's a silverware.
Where's all the heat coming from?
Look out! Hey, what's the idea?
You all right, Betty?
What was that? What happened?
Gee, what the heck? Papa!
Hey, what kind of fun you run out
this
last
place,
time I ever had?
Hey, look, fellas, wait a minute. Nobody's hurt, are they? Please, wait a minute.
That was close. You sure you're all right, Betty?
I'm mad.
Thanks, mister, for knocking me down.
Thank the duck law. You know what that is?
Nope.
It's an old law of physics.
You must be Mike Barnett.
Then you must be the man Deputy White sent over.
Now you're satisfied? This time you use the real bomb. People come in here to eat, not to get executed.
Oh, take it easy, Pop. No one got hurt.
What about my diner? I suppose she don't get hurt.
Let's go inside and see how much damage it did do. It's cleared out in there.
Who was sitting here where I sat just before I came in?
Nobody since I was here.
That means whoever put the bomb here was sitting on another stool. Could have been any other stool. Look at this. A cork. What's this? A piece of the bottle. Chocolate. Means there must have been chocolate on the package rack. Here it is. Somebody spilled a big blob of chocolate and the bottle picked up some. That means whoever put the bottle over there was sitting right here. Betty, who was sitting right here just before the explosion?
Gosh, I don't remember. There were some strangers.
No one you knew? Think hard.
Well, Luke was here, the fellow that owns the dry cleaners, a fresh guy.
That's good. Go on.
And, Gus, he's the milkman. He was here, I think.
Okay, go on.
And, George, the bread man. He was here, the one with the funny hat.
The bread man. Let me see a new loaf of bread. Wrapped. This is the piece of wax paper that was used to cover the end of the egg. They match. Where does George live?
Oh, Mike, George wouldn't.
Where does George live?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out from his boss. You keep an eye on Vic. You come with me. I'm glad I brought you. Lend me a bobby pin, will you?
You should have been a crook.
He didn't leave any chemicals around. But he did leave something. A couple of strips of zinc. I think we've caught our fish.
I get it. It's probably Betty. Charlie's Diner. Vic Rocco's talking.
Listen, Rocco, I'm giving you one more chance. You got a daughter. You wouldn't want nothing to happen to her, right?
No.
Okay. Now get that $2,000 and do exactly like I told you before. River Road, half an hour. You look back or call the cops. You not only won't have no business, but you won't have anybody to leave it to.
Anything the matter, Mr. Rocco?
It was Mr. Barnett. He wants you to call the office.
Yeah? Wonder what's up.
Hey, come back with my car.
George's route goes along here. If he's on schedule, we should meet him any minute.
I want to stop at this gas station, find out if they've seen him pass this way, and I want to call the state police. just be a minute.
Mike, the bread truck just went by. I saw George.
That makes everything just dandy.
Mike, what's the matter to the police? Is Pop...
I finally got another phone call and he managed to slip away from the special deputy.
Well, then I'll try to meet George.
We gotta find George before that happens. The river road, but I don't know whether to speed up or slow down. I don't know whether we beat him here or not.
Oh, we did. There he is behind us, see?
He may have a gun. You better get down on the floor. He may use it.
What's the matter with you, mister? I almost hit you.
You bet you did. You're kind of young to be driving a truck.
Yeah, how old do you have to be?
Old enough to have a commercial license. Where's yours?
I left it home.
Yeah, where's that? This isn't your George Davis, is it?
No, it's his son, Billy. He sometimes works as helper on the bread truck.
Okay, kid, where's your dad? Why are you supposed to be driving around so people will think it was him?
I wasn't. He took the day off. Maybe he's gone fishing.
He's on this road, isn't he? You're on your way to meet him, aren't you?
Honest, maybe he's in Clifftop. He had to see a guy. Really?
Well, I can't take you with me, and I can't let you pull a Paul Revere. You stay here till I get back. That same dust. And it's not road dust. Betty, is there someplace near here where a car could pick up a powdery gray dust? Some kind of industrial plant?
Why, sure, there's an old quarry over near the river. What used to be, it's just a big cliff now. It's over there. It's deserted.
Well, it may not be now. Drop me off somewhere near there, then go and call the police. Tell them to pick up this kid. I'm gonna find George.
Where are you going? What do you want?
You, George.
Robin Hood stuff, eh, city boy? Gonna help the girlfriend's old man. Big, dead hero. Turn around and start walking. Not that way. That way.
Extortion's one thing, George, but homicide's another.
Who said anything about murder? You're gonna have an accident. Turn around and start walking.
I said turn around. All right, now you walk. Not that way, this way.
Hi, Mike. I was wondering if you were going to say goodbye to your girlfriend.
Of course I was. I didn't get much fishing, and it wasn't much of a vacation, but it wasn't dough.
Wait right here.
Where you going?
And to get a check.
No.
Now, I said we would pay you.
That's payment in full.
Well, I'll see you in the city and give you the receipt.
morning, sir.
Morning. My name is Mike Barnett. I'm looking for the pro. I'm supposed to meet him here.
Are you a member, sir?
No, I'm not. I took some lessons from Mr. Boardman in Sea Island last winter.
Yes, sir.
I was called back here, and Mr. Boardman said I could finish the lessons up here.
Oh.
He phoned and said he could take me around in the mornings early before the members were on the links.
Does the Board of Governors know this, sir?
If you'll tell me where I can find Mr. Boardman, we'll ask him, shall we?
Members. Good morning, miss. Good morning, sir.
Don't worry about me. I'll just wait.
Hello, Jonesy.
Morning, Jonesy. Cup of coffee, Jonesy.
Yes, sir. Going around this morning, sir?
You bet. And brew some magic in it, will you? I'm going to have to kill a few eagles. How about you? No point in sulking.
I'm not sulking. If you want to know, I'm sore.
I gather that. But look, we came out here to play golf. Let's discuss the other thing later.
Let's discuss it right now.
Why don't you go get dressed, honey?
When I'm ready, Uncle. Or have you an order from the court saying I can't do that either? You've got one for everything else. My allowance, my bank account, my friends.
My niece will have one, Jonesy.
You treat me like a child.
You're acting like one.
I'm old enough to pick my own friends and old enough to marry one of them, too, if I want to. I'm 19 years old and this...
Yes, 19. And until you're 21, you'll do just as I say. After that, you can marry any fortune hunter you like. But I can tell you this. You won't be Mrs. Ted Boardman as long as I'm your guardian.
I'll see you on the links.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard you. You said as long as I'm your guardian.
Hey, I'm sorry, Mr. Barnett. I didn't know what time it was. I would have met you at the gate.
They almost made me use the servants' entrance. Swanky bunch of people you work for. What do you teach them? An overlapping grip with a lifted pinky?
You don't teach these people anything. You respectfully suggest.
Well, I came up here for a respectful suggestion about a slice I've developed since I saw you in Sea Island last winter. I spent more time in the woods than a forest ranger.
Well, that's why I asked you to get up here before the members come out. Oh, I'm allowed to give lessons on the outside, but, well, I'm still a hired hand, and the club has first whack at my talents.
You mean I came all the way up here for a rain check?
No. One of the members had me booked, and this is the only time he could play.
Well, I'm not exactly a man of unlimited leisure myself.
Well, I didn't mean that, Mr. Barnett. I thought you might join us, make it a threesome. I'll watch your game, give you a few pointers, and it won't count as a lesson. You'll still have 2 lessons coming. How about it?
But if you've got a pupil?
This guy's not a pupil. He's an opponent. We're playing for money.
I get it. And I'll be the caddy for your loot. Isn't that against the rules?
What, gambling with the help? Sure, but you gotta pick up that extra buck. Anyway, they ask for it. Makes them feel like tournament players going against a pro.
I don't think I could stand to watch that happen to a guy 18 times.
He's not too bad himself. He only owes me $2,200 for the season.
Is that all?
Mm-hmm. Here, try one. And today we're playing a double or nothing.
$4,400? Wow. If you ever hit a sand trap, you need a bodyguard.
I'm playing Victor Barstow. He's a good golfer, but a bad loser. I'd appreciate your coming along as a referee. I can't afford to lose $4,400.
And Barstow can?
Yeah, but it would kill him to lose to me.
Why?
He hates my insides.
You look as if you could take care of yourself.
If I ever teed off on him, I'd kill him. I think that's what he wants me to do.
What, kill him?
No, hit him. Look, Mr. Barnett, he knows I want this job. He could turn me in for playing for money with the other members, but he's a big loser himself, and it wouldn't look sporting. But he knows I'd be canned in a minute if I ever laid a hand on him.
You mean he's deliberately steaming you up?
I mean this, Mr. Barnett, that if you'd come along to protect him, you'd also be protecting me.
Ted? Oh, Ted.
Excuse me a minute. Hello, darling.
Hello. Oh, Ted, I'm worried. He's in a...
Mr. Barnett, can you join us a minute? Mr. Barnett, this is Ellen Barstow.
How do you do?
How do
This
you
is Mike
do, Mr.
Barnett from New York. It's her uncle I'm playing with today. I've asked Mr. Barnett to join us.
Oh, would you, Mr. Barnett? I don't know if Ted has told you anything, but I'd be awfully grateful if you'd just go along.
I've even offered to correct Mr. Barnett's slice for free. That's pretty big for a fortune hunter like me. That's what her uncle calls me.
Well, under the circumstances, maybe I'd better. I mean, I might learn something. When do we start?
Ellen?
Right now.
I thought you were out on the course.
I'm going now. I'm going to play the back nine. I'll see you in the clubhouse for lunch.
Okay, hon. Good shooting.
Thanks. Nice to have met you, Mr. Barnett.
She's having lunch with me.
We'll talk about that later. Oh, Mr. Barstow, this is Mike Barnett. I've asked him to play with us this morning.
You're not a member. You a friend of Boardman's?
I took some lessons from him down at Sea Island last winter. I don't want to horn in.
You can add, can't you?
I think so.
Okay. You could keep score. This is one game where I want to witness, and maybe I can give you a few lessons myself.
I hope you don't mind the caddy cart. The kids don't get out until 9.
Club pampers the health. Caddies keep bankers' hours. Bankers have to push their own sticks.
If you two sharks don't mind, I'll take the honor. Probably be the only time I'll have it all day.
Go ahead, son. It's not your money I'm after.
There's a lesson for you, Mr. Barnett. When there's dew on the grass, the greens are slow.
Just give me a 4 on this hole, Barnett.
And a big fat 5 for me.
What do you know about that? The green was wet. What do you say, Barnett? Shall we concede it?
Sure.
Don't be so big-hearted.
You had a 6, you know. It's my honor. Where to go? I lost it right by the woods.
That's just why we're in the woods. Good distance, but I'm afraid you picked up my slice. There's a hook you can have, too. I'm way off the fairway, off to the left.
I think you'll need your bathing suit to play that one.
A pro.
That's where my slice went. You got it.
Slicing is from pressing too much. Isn't it, Mr. Pro?
So I sliced. I'll be out of those woods before you ever will.
Well, I'm off here. What do I use if I'm in water? A depth charge?
When you're in trouble, blast.
What do you mean?
Use your sand wedge. he dead, Mr. Barnett?
Hole in one. Hand it over. Anything you want to say? Let's go up to the clubhouse.
Not bad. But 1 year in office, huh, Herb? Hasn't been a first degree in this district in 8 years. I get it. And it's airtight. You know, a man could travel to Albany on that. Say that for me, Herb. My wife's keeping a scrapbook. Oh, come in, Mr. Barnett. Here's our star witness. Well, are you comfortable? The state treating you all right?
You ever stayed at the commercial house? I'll bet they gave Boardman a softer bed over at the county jail.
I'm afraid the state's got a less comfortable piece of furniture lined up for Mr. Boardman.
Got a sure case, huh?
This kind.
Doesn't it seem strange to you, Mr. Havemeyer, that since Barstow was killed, Boardman has never once made a statement?
What could he say? If he opens his mouth, he's committing suicide. You ought to know that. After all, you're the one who caught him in the henhouse with his hands full of feathers. Oh, the reason I asked you to stop by, since the inquest, has the defense been in touch with you in any way?
No, they haven't been near me.
Still figures, Herb. It's their privilege, you know. But they've been avoiding all the other witnesses, too, and they've just barely looked at the evidence. You know why?
Just a guess, they're not going to try to fight facts. They're going to let you throw the punches, and they're going to roll with them. And when your tongue's hanging out, they're going to step on it. Surprise change of plea, not guilty by reason of insanity.
You should have been a lawyer, Mr. Barnett. As a matter of fact, they've got a Dr. Winkler in town now. I think he's their surprise punch. You ever hear of him?
Winkler? No, I don't think so.
Well, doesn't matter because I got a little counterpunch all ready for him. Now, the defense doesn't know this, but I've got 2 psychiatrists stashed over at my brother's house. They both examined Boardman, and no matter what this Dr. Winkler says, they can testify that he was and is just as sane as Judge Davis.
Well, as you say, Mr. Havemeyer, I'm no lawyer. But the defense counsel is, and a good one.
That Leonard fellow from New York? Well, no offense, Mr. Barnett, but Boardman is foolish to face a jury of Hale County farmers with a downstate lawyer.
Have you ever seen him in action? Well, I have, and that downstate lawyer could get an acquittal for John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, well, you just let us worry about the strategy. Then you admit, Miss Barstow, that you and your uncle had many quarrels over the attentions paid to you by the defendant?
Yes.
Well, I don't think the jury heard that.
Yes.
As your legal guardian, did your uncle have the authority to withhold your inheritance if you married without his consent before the age of 21?
Did.
But in the event of his death before that, what would happen to the money?
It, would revert to my complete control on my 19th birthday.
How old are you, Miss Barstow?
19.
Thank you, Miss Barstow. And from what you could overhear, Mr. Barnett, what was Miss Barstow's reply?
She said, I heard you as long as you're my guardian.
And did she repeat any of this to Mr. Boardman?
She met Mr. Boardman outside while we were on the practice green. I have no knowledge of what she said to him.
But she did speak to him. And after that, what was his manner?
He seemed upset, more so than before.
And then you asked Mr. Boardman, just before he and Mr. Barstow went into the woods, how you should get out of a difficult position. And what did he say?
He said, whenever you're in trouble, blast. He was less than a foot from the body, and he was holding a pistol from which only one shot had been fired.
Could you identify this pistol?
It was an Oriba, a Spanish gun, 6.35. It corresponds to our .25 caliber. The serial number was 141455.
Is this the gun?
It is.
And now, Mr. Coroner, will you identify the exhibit that you have in your hand?
This is the bullet that I removed from the body of Victor Barstow.
I submit this in evidence.
It was fired at close range from a .25 caliber pistol.
The prisoner wouldn't admit to ownership of the gun, but we checked and found that a permit had been issued to purchase and carry a weapon of that serial number.
And to whom was it issued?
Theodore Boardman.
Theodore Boardman, the state has established intent, method, motive, and opportunity. 4 accusing fingers of indisputable evidence, and they point directly at you. Can you deny any of it?
The defendant does not have to answer that. He has already pleaded not guilty.
That's all right, Your Honor. I don't deny anything.
That is all. The counselor from New York may have the witness.
Your witness, Mr. Leonard.
The defense waives all right of cross-examination. The defense also excuses the witness. Your Honor, gentlemen of the jury, the distinguished prosecutor of Hale County has presented you with some hard facts. Incontrovertible, immutable facts. We don't dispute them. We accept every single one of them, and we want you to accept them too. But a true verdict must be based on all the facts. If only one fact is missing, justice can miscarry. We wouldn't want that to happen, would we? Call Dr. Ernst Winkler to the stand.
Dr. Ernst Winkler.
Here it comes. Where do we spring our doctors?
The whole truth.
They in the hall outside?
So help you God.
I do. Dr. Winkler, you are not a medical man, are you?
No, sir, I am not. I received my doctorate in physics at Leipzig University in 1922.
And what do you do now, Doctor?
For the last 12 years, I have been head of the ballistics laboratory for the International Police Organization in Geneva.
And ballistics includes, among other things, the science of firearms identification, does it not?
That is correct.
On the 12th of this month, you were permitted to examine a certain bullet, Exhibit A. You also fired a test bullet from this pistol, Exhibit B. After scientific tests, the record of which I submit, what conclusion did you arrive at, Doctor?
That this bullet was not fired from this gun.
The defense rests.
Well, it's you. You come to laugh at the hayseed lawyer who was going to tie the can on the downstate slicker? Well, I deserved it.
You won't believe it, but I think you made a good case.
Thanks. Only trouble is I got the wrong defendant.
I suppose you think it was the girl.
Look, when an innocent man won't defend himself, he's shielding someone. She had as much motive as he did.
Only she didn't do it.
How do you know?
I was there, remember? From where I was in the fairway, I had a clear view of the woods. If she'd gone in there, I'd have seen her. You were right the first time.
Boardman? But I haven't got a case.
Leonard knew that. That's why he went to trial.
But why? He could have had the indictment tossed right in my face.
Now he had to get Boardman tried so he could get him acquitted for lack of evidence. If the judge throws your case out tomorrow, Boardman's free and he can't be tried again for the same charge.
Double jeopardy. Oh, if I'd only had that gun tested.
If it's any comfort to you, Leonard made the same mistake you did.
What do you mean?
He got overconfident. He rested his case instead of moving for dismissal. The judge gave you 16 hours to get a conviction.
Yeah, 16 hours to get out of town is what it sounded like.
You may not be so far out of town.
Huh?
Maybe just about as far as the golf course.
I don't get you.
I still think the answer is out there somewhere. You want to come with me?
Well, where are you going?
You had to run for office, didn't you? A little walk won't hurt you.
What are we
doing here anyway? This seems...
Give me your club scorecard, will you, Sonny?
Yes, sir. Want a caddy, sir?
Good idea. We may need a witness.
But where are your clubs?
We're going to play this round with a pencil. You got one?
What are you going to do?
I got an idea that Barstow's last game of golf was very well planned. If I can just recall the game hole by hole, we may know what the score really was.
All right, what happened here?
Barstow took a 1 putt for a 4. I took a 5. Boardman took a miserable 6.
Huh? He must have been using your pencil for a putter. This is a par 3 hole.
Yeah, he's a professional. He's used to playing the course every day. How would a man who usually plays the first 6 and 3 under par suddenly go 3 over par? The easiest hole in the course.
I don't know, unless he did it deliberately. But why would he want to lose the hole?
Maybe he wanted to give Barstow the honor. Maybe he wanted to let his victim take the first shot off the next tee.
The 8th? Why, that's the last hole Barstow ever played. Wasn't this where Barstow shot into the trees?
Yeah. And if Boardman noticed his consistent slice, he must have known he would. But just to make sure, he gave Barstow the honor.
Well, from here to those woods, that's a bad slice.
It is. And for a top-flight golfer like Boardman to make one, it'd have to be intentional.
What about you?
Well, I made it easy for him. I hooked way off to the left into the water. That put Barstow and Boardman in the rough with no witness.
Wasn't he taking a risk having you along at all? Why did he do that?
What he needed was a material witness, not an eyewitness. Somebody who'd give you enough circumstantial evidence to convince you had a case without bothering to do what we're going to do now.
Which is what?
Search those woods.
But the police searched these woods.
Yeah, but they didn't know what they were looking for.
Well, what are we looking for?
A couple of things. Now, let's see. As I recall, Boardman's ball landed about here. And from where I was over there, I watched him chop his way out. Then I heard a pistol shot, and I came over here and saw Barstow laying dead, Boardman standing over him with a pistol hand.
Which pistol, if you recall, had nothing to do with Barstow's death?
He could have carried 2 pistols in here. One to kill Barstow and the other with an exploded cartridge in it for me to find.
Yeah. What would he do with it? If he'd have thrown it away, the police would have found it. He didn't have time to bury it before you got here.
Why not? He had the perfect tool.
What?
A sand wedge. When you blast out of a lie like this, you dig a divot the size of a toupee. So any conscientious golfer always replaces a divot. That way the turf can take root again, and after a while you'd never know it had been removed unless...
Unless what? Pistol, and the same kind that Boardman had.
A divot makes a hole. A hole's a handy thing to have when you want to hide that extra pistol with the incriminating barrel marks and personal fingerprints that DAs love so well.
I better have this photograph before I move it. Son, I want you to go over to the club, call the courthouse, ask the assistant to... Son, I said... Hey, Mr. Barnett, what are you looking for?
It's okay, I found it.